Hey, what's up guys? This is Matt here, Rebel Reaper Clothing Company. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the install of the Arlen Ness 65-degree velocity intake. I noticed when I was looking through YouTube, I noticed not many people have too many videos of the 2020 FXLRS behind me. It should go across all pretty much 2018 up platforms as far as the Softails. So if you guys are looking for a way to install this intake right here, not sponsored by Arlen Ness by any means, but we're doing this build series on our YouTube channel and just wanted to bring you guys along. So in this video in particular, we're going to be talking about how to install this thing. And as you guys know, behind me right here is a 2020 FXLRS 114, to be more specific. As you guys can see, a lot of parts are missing. As we're going through this series, we're going to bring you guys along, show you guys what we did and how we got it to the point where it's at right now. You guys will notice that all the tins are gone, and if you missed the reason why and some of the upgrades that you see, go ahead and look at our previous video. It's part 1 of the 2020 FXLRS build that we're doing right now, and we're just kind of bringing you guys along, showing you guys what we did. My direction as far as my bikes are sometimes a little bit different than what most people do. So if you guys are interested in the style and what we're doing, that's the whole reason why we're doing this video. I didn't see too many videos out there that show this kind of stuff, so hopefully you guys enjoy it, but let's get into it. All right, so for today's video, we're gonna be showing you guys how to install this Arlen Ness 65-degree velocity intake on a 2020 FXLRS. This pretty much goes standard for anything that's 18 plus Softail with this model. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I think it looks really good. And once the bike is finished, you guys will be able to see everything. There's the Nova in the background. Maybe we'll do another video about that later on. But it's almost done. Getting ready for paint. It's coming here soon. Whew. But this thing looks great. Can't wait to get it tuned. Give you guys some feedback once it's done. But here's the video. So when you guys open the box, you'll get 2 boxes that come with it. One is just the actual intake itself, and we'll be using that a little bit later. See if we can get that in a zoom. And then the other one comes with all the instructions, the how-tos, what tools that you might need, the little assemblies, and then the actual intake assembly itself. So I'm gonna take this all out. We'll get right to it. So you guys will notice I got all my tools typically out, ready to go. I like to plan it ahead before I dive deep into this. So as you guys can see, obviously I'm missing some parts, but just so you know, we're gonna be taking this intake off from the 114 and showing you guys how to install it step by step. It's pretty self-explanatory. I know a lot of you guys probably have installed an intake at home, but I know a lot of people are a little bit uncomfortable if this is your first time doing it. So let's go ahead and take it out the box and show you guys what's inside. All right, so when you take it out, this is essentially what you're gonna be getting all right here. Now, what I like to do and what I've come to learn is that I don't like to scratch my parts. So I tend to put them on top of something soft so it doesn't get scratched or dented as I'm going through the install. You could trip and fall through your garage. So I added it all here. You also have the servo cover right here, which we'll show you later. You have the elbow. You have the part that attaches to the intake manifold that's going to be holding the whole intake to your bike. And then you have the actual intake itself. I know a lot of people are probably not into this style, probably wondering why I chose this style. Well, let's get it to focus real quick. So I personally like, and the cool thing about this is it tells you how to clean it, so you can get all the details in there. A lot of the intakes that I like, it does cost a little bit more for this style intake, but I do like the style. I've never personally installed this style intake before, but it's pretty not that difficult. So I like the look of it, the aesthetics that I'm actually going for on the bike. So this is the style that I chose. It kind of has a 65-degree angle. It kind of angles out, but you guys will see that at the end of the video. It comes with all the parts. Boom, boom, gaskets. Definitely want to use those. So let's go ahead and throw it on. All right, guys, so for the sake of the length of this video, also my camera not dying, we're gonna be kind of fast forwarding a couple steps, a couple of the easy things I'm pretty sure you guys can figure out. So when you first take off the front plate right here, It's got 2 bolts, so you're gonna be using a 1/8 to take that off for your Allen wrenches, and then a second one is gonna be using the 5/32 to take off the other cover. So we're gonna fast forward a couple parts. You guys don't wanna see all this, all right? All right, guys, so when you take the 2 bolts off for your 5/32 Allen wrench, you're gonna pop these guys off, right? And then you're gonna take the faceplate off, and you're going to take your intake off. They just pop off right away. Not a big deal, super easy. Now I like to keep all my bolts together. Of course, you know, anyone that's a gearhead, you guys are wrenching, you know, you guys can lose some bolts. You might need them later, you might not, but I like to keep everything organized from where they came from, so that way you guys don't have to worry about it. The good news is once you take this off and you see the final plate that is part of the stock intake, the same thing, you're gonna use 5/32, wrench these 3 bolts off, and you're good to go. So we're gonna fast forward through that. You guys don't wanna see all that. Now, pause, I lied. You're probably thinking you took off those 3 bolts and you're like, Matt, they're not coming off. You lying SOB. You're right. So one thing I forgot to mention is when you take the breather tubes that are attached to there, you wanna take those 2 guys off. They're little plastic pieces, where do I do it? Right here. So you guys wanna take these 2 things off, just pop them off, and underneath there, you're gonna see a bolt that's what's actually holding this bracket to the throttle body assembly behind it. So you're gonna take a 7/16 deep socket, and then you're gonna take a wrench, and you're gonna take those 2 guys off. Simple as that. Now, we're at this point. This is what it looks like with it off, but when it's on, we're just kind of taking you step by step, all right? Basically trying to write this in crayons so you don't mess it up. So these 2 bolts that come out here, once you take these off with the 7/16 deep socket, you're gonna pop this guy off, and that's where we're at right now. It's probably a good time if you see a little bit of gunk and dirt in there to kind of wipe that down, get it out of the way, so that way you don't have to take this off and deal with that later. It's just a good time. An extra step, you don't have to, but you know, I like to, so I don't have to worry about this kind of shit later. And kind of clean up whatever you can, and then we'll get to the next step. Now when you guys disassemble everything, remember when we talked about in the beginning, you're gonna have 2 of these little baby brackets, or I'm sorry, these 2 packets. God, I gotta do a bloopers reel. 2 packets. This one specifically has some of the O-rings, and the other one has a gasket in it, and a couple other bolts that you're gonna be using later. But this one in particular, this next step is you're gonna take the part that attaches to the throttle assembly, you're gonna take the O-rings that are in this packet, and you're gonna throw them in the back of this guy, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, so I never really used to be OCD, but when it came to certain projects and bikes that I've done in the past, when I've done things, I've just come to learn to kind of organize everything so that way you don't lose anything. So you guys can see at the bottom right here on the floor, I have the 1 packet that came together separate over there, and then the other packet disassembled over there. All right, so what we're gonna be taking now is using this next step. And as you guys know, there are instructions that come with it, so you guys are more than welcome to reference those. I'm just trying to wrap it up, make it super simple for you guys, show you this is not a big deal or a big task. All right guys, so you notice that my audio is a little bit different. It's because my microphone died, but the show must still go on, so we're not gonna stop. All right guys, so moving in here, you're at this point, it's loosely tightened on, but it's not fully tightened on. You need your breather bolts to be attached to 18 foot-pounds of torque. I got my torque wrench right here. I highly recommend you guys get one. I mean, I do wrench on my cars and bikes, so I highly recommend you guys get this. So when you wrench it all the way, it'll beep and it'll let you know when to stop. And then you want the inside bolts on the outside, you know, the 3 bolts there, 10 to 12 foot-pounds. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and then we're gonna move on to the next step. All right, so we got the settings dialed in to 18. And we're gonna do is slowly tighten her down. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, getting close. And that's about where you want it to sit. It's a good thing to get these. I highly recommend them. Boom. Simple Simple as that. Now you don't have to guess how tight you got to do it, and that way you're confident knowing on the road that you're getting exactly what the recommendation is for whatever item that you're installing. So we're going to do these next 3 ones and then on. Now what you guys want to do is you want to make sure your O-ring, that big O-ring that came with your kit, install that around the outside, and then you're going to be taking your elbow. A good rule of thumb is when you do your O-rings, I don't know if I mentioned this prior, if you put a little bit of grease on the back of the O-ring, it'll hold it into place. But if you don't have that, you know, it's not a big deal. It's just recommended if you get frustrated and see your O-rings falling off. So we're going to throw this on there, and you come with 3 additional bolts, and these are going to go in the top, side, and side. And you tighten those down, and then we'll get to the next step. Now a good rule of thumb is as you guys are tightening these down, this is what I do. It's just, you know, a little bit of a tip. I don't like to fully tighten down each bolt. I like to leave them a little bit loose around all 3. So that way later on, I know if I need to align it or something's off. You never want to force or cross thread a bolt because that'll cause bigger issues in the future. You know, and who wants to deal with a cross threaded bolt? It's not fun, not a good time. So that's what I'm doing right here. Just kind of loosely putting them all down before I solidly put them all down, all 3 at the same time. And what I usually start is tighten it here, go on to the next one, tighten it there. That way you get an even suction throughout the whole entire thing, and you're not worrying about any kind of air getting in or kind of loose bolts or any whatnot. So that's kind of what I'm doing right here. Also, today's video is sponsored by, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, DeWalt. But if you do see this, that would be really rad if it is sponsored by you because I use your products all the time. I'm telling you, man, when it comes to bikes and cars, you do not want to mess with the cheap Chinese tools. They always break. They always fall apart. Just invest in the good stuff. So anyway, we're at the finish line. Now you guys have the actual intake itself. The cool thing about this, pretty self-explanatory once you've gotten to this point. It's not rocket science. You basically just attach it here. You do have a O-ring clamp with a flathead screwdriver top. So just go ahead and throw that on there. Have it face the bottom. You don't want that part showing, so just kind of adjust it how you want it to look so you don't have that chrome piece showing. I'm going to aim it a little bit down. You simply just pop it on. Oh, I guess you got to loosen it up a little bit. Try to throw a little humor in this, you know. I see a lot of people get a little serious. And again, Arlen Ness is not paying me to do this. No one's sponsoring me. I just want to help out our fellow people that are following our YouTube channel. Hope you guys got some value out of this. If you guys are not familiar, go ahead and like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys check out my clothing company, Rebel Reaper Clothing Company. We're based out of here in Phoenix, Arizona. And just showing a like, you know, really helps the page grow and motivates me from taking that time out of my busy schedule running a company to do more of these videos for you guys, okay? So that's pretty much it. Just go ahead and tighten that on there and you're good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to be doing a lot more videos. Hope you guys enjoy this process. Again, if you missed the whole entire series of the 2020 FXLRS build that we're doing right here, the next step is to get all the tins back. And then for my buddy Steven at McLaughlin Auto Arts here in Phoenix, Arizona. He's the only one that paints all my bikes. Just got a text from him today. Really excited about it. So when all the paint and everything's done, we're going to throw everything back on here. It's going to be good times. I'm going to wrap it up right here, guys. Thank you so much. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you actually got some value out of it. So we're going to wrap it up here. Again, guys, we're building a 2020 FXLRS, and if you didn't see the first video, go ahead and check it out. The link will be down in the description. We're new to this YouTube thing. We're trying to do more videos, more content. If you're not familiar with Rebel Reaper Clothing Company, go ahead and check us out on Instagram at Rebel Reaper Clothing Company. We do a lot of custom vests, jackets, jeans, gloves, all types of apparel for motorcycle enthusiasts. We focus on quality. And anyway, so this entire process, I've done a lot of bikes, done a lot of cars, but this is the first time documenting and showing you guys how to do this kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys want to see. Talk to you guys later.